Today, we're digging into a book that could seriously change how you deal with, well, everyone. It's The Art of Persuasion by Bob Burg. And just to be clear, this isn't about sneaky tricks or manipulation. It's about a much deeper, much more powerful kind of strength.
I mean, seriously, think about that. What if you could walk into any conversation, any negotiation, any disagreement, and get the outcome you want? Not by being louder, not by force, but through pure skill. That's the powerful promise we're unpacking right now. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the daily battle, the stuff we all deal with. Then we'll look at winning a completely different way, decode what makes people tick, build a foundation for real influence, see it work in the real world, and finally, get you started on your own path to mastering this.
Okay, let's just get real. Every single day, it feels like you're navigating a minefield of difficult people, right? It can feel like a constant low-level battle just to get through the day without some kind of conflict. You know the type. The person cutting you off in traffic. The waiter who acts like you're invisible. The customer service rep who seems to get a kick out of saying no. That client who won't even give you 5 minutes. These little daily battles, they drain your energy and they get in your way.
And in those moments, we usually have two knee-jerk reactions, and honestly, both of them suck. Option one, you fight back. You get loud, you get aggressive. And the result? Maybe you win the moment, but you feel awful, and you've probably just made an enemy for life. Option two, you just back down. You let it go. The result there? You feel like a doormat, and you walk away empty-handed. Neither of these is a real win.
So, what if there's another way? A third option. It's not about being the biggest guy in the room or the most intimidating. It's about completely redefining what real strength looks like.
This is the secret. True victory, real power, is when you get exactly what you want and you do it in a way that makes the other person feel good about the whole thing. This isn't about compromise, where everybody gives something up. This is a true win-win, where you turn a potential opponent into an ally. This quote from thousands of years ago just nails it. Real might isn't about overpowering someone. It's about mastering your own emotions. The ability to stay calm, to connect, and to turn someone who's against you into someone who wants to help you, that is the ultimate form of strength. So, to master this, you have to know how people are wired. You have to understand their internal operating system. And here's a spoiler, it's not based on logic. Not even close. It's much more primal than that.
And let's be crystal clear about something. What we're talking about here is persuasion, not manipulation. Manipulation is a dirty game. It's about control, it's win-lose, and it completely ignores what's good for the other person. True persuasion is about cooperation. It's about building them up, making them feel good so they want to work with you.
If you only take one thing away from this, let it be this right here. This is the master key to everything. We are emotional beings. We make decisions based on how we feel, on ego, on instinct, on gut feelings. Logic is just the lawyer we hire afterwards to justify the decision our heart already made.
And you know what? It gets even simpler. All of those emotions boil down to just two basic drives. We are all constantly moving towards pleasure, things like feeling important, smart, and respected. And we are all constantly moving away from pain, things like being embarrassed or feeling stupid. If you can show someone how helping you gives them pleasure or helps them avoid pain, you've cracked the code.
And this right here is what we do after the fact. We rationalize. We made a choice based on pure emotion, and then we build a perfectly logical sounding case for why it was the right thing to do. Think about the last expensive gadget you bought. You wanted it emotionally, right? And then you told yourself all the logical reasons it was a smart buy. That's the human operating system right there. Okay, so we've got the psychology. But how do you put it into practice? How do you actually become the kind of person who has this kind of influence? Well, it starts by laying the groundwork before you even ask for anything. This is the golden rule, and it's not just for business, it's for life. People help people they know, like, and trust, period. If you can generate those feelings in someone, even in a brief interaction, you're already halfway to getting what you want. So how do you get that know, like, and trust factor? It's these 4 simple habits. Be thoughtful. Give a real compliment. Try to actually feel what the other person is feeling. Empathy. Remember, they have their own reasons for what they're doing, so figure those out. And finally, go into interactions expecting a positive outcome. Your own attitude can totally shape the result. All right,
Theory is great, but does this stuff actually work when the pressure is on? You bet it does. Let me share a quick story from the book that shows this whole system in action in a really tough spot.
So picture this. Bob Burg is at a convention in Toronto. It's over, and he has a mountain of unsold books to ship. The problem? The loading dock supervisor. This guy is angry. He feels unappreciated, and he has absolutely zero interest in helping some author out. It's a classic standoff.
Now, the old way would be to argue or pull rank. But watch this masterclass. First, Berg apologizes and takes the blame for the situation, showing instant respect. Next, he hands the power over to the supervisor, saying things like, "Look, I know this isn't even your job to deal with." Then he starts asking the guy about his work, and he actually listens. And finally, he genuinely praises the guy's expertise and effort. And the result? It was like flipping a switch. The supervisor, who suddenly felt respected, important, and in charge, completely changed his tune. He starts taping boxes himself. He's making phone calls to help out. He went from being the biggest obstacle to the biggest ally. He got the pleasure of feeling valued, and Berg got his books shipped. A perfect win-win.
So how do we wrap all this up? What's the one skill that pulls all of these ideas together? There's a single word for it, and it's the language you need to learn to become a master of this.
That language is tact. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Tact sounds soft. It sounds weak. Forget that idea. In this context, tact is the language of strength. It's a strategic tool. It's the ability to frame your idea so perfectly that the other person doesn't just agree with it, they adopt it as their own. Now that is real power. And that brings us to the end. Every single conversation you have from this moment on is a choice. Are you going to react on pure instinct and probably end up in a lose-lose fight? Or are you going to respond with skill, with strategy, with tact? You can choose to master your emotions, understand theirs, and create a win. The choice is yours. So what's it going to be? Will you react or will you respond?